Good morning, friends, from my very messy studio. Welcome to a vlog. I think this is going to be a vlog. I haven't filmed a video in a while. As you know, we are still in this kind of process of figuring out what YouTube looks like now for me. I have some ideas, but I don't want to share anything too much because I feel like I have just been shifting gears so many times over the last year. Just trying to experiment and figure out what makes sense in terms of video formats and posting times and all of that. So I'm filming now. I have actually been filming a bunch the last couple weeks, which is why my studio is such a mess, but I've been filming classes, not YouTube videos. And then the other reason it's a big mess is because I was on an art retreat last week, an illustration retreat, with Fran, my friends Fran and Fabiola. And I'm sure you know Fran, but you might not know Fabiola because her channel is a little bit newer. But I had met Fabiola when? I'm trying to think when that was. I mean, probably like 2016, one time in person at Tumblr HQ. I had come down to visit, and yeah, I'm pretty sure I should have asked her before I filmed this, but I'm pretty sure we met then when she was working there, doing their social media. And then I just knew Fran from the internet, and we had messaged a lot, and Fabiola and I had been talking on the phone during quite a bit of the pandemic, actually, just trying to make connections with other human art people. Yeah, so we had talked. I had the idea of getting together, doing like a retreat, going out into the woods and just renting a little house out there and painting together for a few days. And we did that last week, and it was amazing. And yeah, I did not film at all because I was just wanting to be kind of in the moment. But Fabiola did quite a lot of filming, and she's actually making a vlog about it. I'm not sure like how our timing is going to work. Her vlog may already be published, but I'll put a link to her channel regardless. And if we do happen to have any footage, we'll be inserting that for you to see and get just a little sense of what you'll see in that vlog. Okay, so this week I am doing a number of client project things. I'm doing really four different client projects that have a timeline running from now, which by the way, today is July 14th, have a timeline of running from right now until the end of the month. And I have to finish all of those. And I'm also filming two different classes. One, I can't remember what I have mentioned where, but one of them is my first standalone class, which will have some new material, but it's also going to be some material from Skillshare classes that I've kind of like bundled together, because there have been a lot of requests from people who don't want to do the Skillshare membership thing. They prefer to just kind of be on an a la carte basis and just like get the class but not have to sign up for the membership. And I totally get that. If you have followed me for any length of time, you probably have heard me talking about why I prefer like Procreate and Pixelmator and Affinity over Adobe products, just because I prefer to buy them and use them rather than having the monthly license. So I get that. And it's going to be like an all-in-one, like how to draw anything for beginners. So it's going to go over all the basics of like perspective and proportions and values or shading, lights and darks and color, and then like a big long real-time demo where I'm just like talking through the whole process as I do it at the end. I don't actually know how many hours that is yet. I have filmed it. I think it's somewhere in the 2-hour range. I'm hoping it's not much longer than that. yeah, so I'm excited about that. That will hopefully be launching later this month. But if you have taken classes from me on Skillshare, I just want you to know that like quite a bit of the educational content, like the actual pedagogy and the framework is going to be pulled directly from Skillshare classes. So if you have taken my perspective, shading, or sorry, proportions, shading, color classes on Skillshare, you will have seen those segments already. The real-time section will be new, and having them all bundled together like that would be new, but I don't want anybody to take it and be disappointed that some of the content is stuff that they had already seen. But yes, so that's coming. And then there also is a brand new Skillshare class that has all new material coming, probably closer to September. But I need to do some filming for that as well. So my priorities for this month are, for the rest of July, are to finish these 4 client projects that I'm doing, and then to hopefully finish the filming and editing for the standalone class. And full disclosure, I am getting help with the editing, and so I'm not having to do all of that on my own, but I am doing all of the filming on my own this time. The last time I did a Skillshare class, I had somebody come and help me film because I had had so much trouble with my autofocus. But now I have a new camera, and the autofocus is way better. So hopefully, hopefully everything is going to be fine with that. Yeah, so today I am waiting for feedback from clients. I sent sketches through yesterday. And to be honest, I was hoping that I would have feedback this morning so I could just kind of get rolling with those. But since I don't have any feedback this morning, I'm going to go ahead and try to use this time and film. And I need to film what is my least favorite thing to film, and that is the introduction to the class, the standalone class. And I hate filming those because I have to be like really succinct, and that's just a challenge for me. I'm going to have to use a teleprompter so that I can stay on point. Otherwise, I just tend to wander a little bit. So I have to film that, and then I have to film the transition sections and then the outro. So it's really not that much filming that I have to do, but I know it's going to take me a long time because they're the parts that are the hardest for me. Yeah, and then if I end up having any time, I will, any time left over, I might start doing some more filming for the Skillshare class. I filmed, it's going to be, actually hang on one second, let me show you. It's going to be a new botanical illustration course, but it's going to be focusing on weeds and wildflowers, and then I'm going to be doing them on black paper. So this is one that I finished, one demo piece that I finished, and I filmed the whole thing and just did the talk through as I was making it. And I'm also doing one that's milkweed and then Queen Anne's lace. So I need to film those. I very foolishly thought that this would take me like, I don't know, I was thinking maybe they would take me an hour each, but it took me much longer than that. So this will also be my first foray into a Skillshare class that's longer than an hour. Usually my Skillshare classes are right around 60 minutes, maybe slightly over, maybe slightly under, but this one will probably be somewhere in the 4 to 6 hour range total, because it's going to be lots of real-time educational stuff. So I always have tended to condense things down and try to get the time-lapse, use time-lapse footage rather than real-time footage, because I feel like nobody wants to watch 6 hours of the same content, like 6 hours of me like real-time drawing and just telling you what I'm doing along the way. But a lot of you ask for that, so we're going to experiment and see how it goes. And if that class doesn't do so well in that format, then maybe I'll re-edit it and condense it down and do a voiceover. But I always like to experiment and try different things. So we're experimenting with a longer form Skillshare class. So maybe I will if I end up having time today, I'll end up filming another demo. Maybe probably the Queen Anne's lace is the one I'll do next, because that's going to be a little bit quicker. The milkweed one is really complex. I may be able to show a little bit of what I'm doing with the client work. I'll have to figure out a way to do it carefully so I don't show too much. Yeah, that's the plan for this vlog. I don't know right now what exactly the format is going to be, yeah, you will know when we watch it. You'll know at the same time as I do when it's done. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get set up to film. So here is what the setup ultimately looks like. The iPad is going to sit down here, and then I'll angle this glass screen up. So the camera just like films right through this glass, but I can see the reflection of the words. So it's not like an actual full-on teleprompter. It's more just like a special holder so that your iPad can function like a teleprompter. And then I'll pull this hood, this black hood over it so that it blocks out any light. And then I even put some marks on the floor. So I'll probably stand at the one closer to the camera, some combination of the one closer to the camera and the one further from the camera. So the autofocus on this thing is awesome. So I can really move around as much as I want. It's the Canon, what is it? Canon R something is for R. Yeah, it's just the Canon R. I think it's the Canon R5. Would it say that on there? I feel like I remember it being the Canon R5, but I don't know. I'll put what it is in the description box. So because the autofocus is really great, I can move as much as I want to. The only challenge is once this hood is on here, I can't really see the flip out screen anymore, so I don't know if I'm in frame. So that's why I need to have the marks on the floor. So I'm gonna transfer my script, my little intro script, over to my iPad and then hopefully get filming. Hey folks, it is a bit after 4 and I am sitting at my desk waiting for some of the footage to download from my SD card so that I can look at it. Whoa, the light is changing. So that I can look at it and make sure I have what I need. I have been filming for most of the day with some procrastination breaks. I just checked and I still don't have any client feedback, which I'm getting a little bit nervous about because I definitely have to get moving on things by tomorrow if I'm going to make all these deadlines. So I'm going to just look at this footage that I have, and then I also have to shoot a bunch of B-roll. So I don't know, maybe I'll find a way to share that and insert some of it here. I always feel kind of silly doing B-roll stuff because it feels so staged. And I'm going to do some things on the camera that I don't necessarily actually do in real life. Or at least they're not like a part of my daily process. So I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. I guess if there's any footage, you guys will see it now.
Short of revolutionary. It would change Christianity in the United States and create foundational ideas that would eventually morph and evolve into the prosperity gospel.
To have her there.
And I went in there with this incredible fear that my play, which was now in front of lipstick cameras, the game, that I didn't really deserve to have ever won anything. I was bad, and I just got lucky, and now everybody was going to know it, and what they were saying was true.
You felt like a crap, in a way. That just makes it hard to focus on what it is that you're actually doing. And it's in so many ways that to me is a perfect illustration of stereotype threat. It shows that when there's a stereotype that's in the air, when there's a stereotype that multiple people believe, even if you don't, it affects your behavior in such a way that you become more likely to make the stereotype come true.
I think that that's completely true. It was always in the back of my mind, like, that do they really respect?
I've spent way longer than I should have organizing those colored pencils. Just realizing that the air conditioner is on and I'm using the camera without an external mic, so I hope you guys can hear me okay. I wanted to show you how the colored pencil organization turned out. So first I have the colored pencils that I use really regularly. So I've gotten these kind of separated, there's some more back there, into, I did purples, reds, kind of pinks and peaches, earth tone yellows. Oh, and then blues are all back there because I don't actually use them that often. And then a bunch of different greens, earth tone greens, warmer greens, kind of gray greens, and then cooler greens. And then I did grays and browns and brighter oranges and yellows. So these are the ones that I just am using every day. They're in the process of being used. Some of them are on these little extender things that I've made. And then over here, wheel on over, I have all of the backups. And I think I probably showed this in a video fairly recently because I haven't actually had this for that long. Probably, I don't know how many months, a couple of months. But I got these trays, and my plan was just to have the colored pencils in the trays, and then, you know, whenever I pulled one out, I would order a replacement for it. But that meant that I had to, you know, be really good at keeping a list and staying organized. And the whole point of this is to make it so that it's easier for me to stay organized and have an inventory. So I took everything out and wrote the numbers, wrote the color codes right on a little piece of tape, and then put that on the tray. So now at this point I can just come on over here and look and see which ones are empty, which ones need to be replaced. It's kind of hard to see it on the camera here, but I'll be able to look through much easier and just get a quick sense for which ones I need to order new backups for. And then I also finally got all of my Coranda Ash pencils organized as well, and I did the same thing for these. I put their color codes down as well. I still don't have enough Holbein pencils to justify doing that, but I really, really liked these. I think I am going to get some more of them, so I've got another tray here ready to go. Yeah, this took more time than I wish it had, but I think it's going to really save me some time in the long run. Yeah, I ended up wanting to do that because I was just kind of in an unpacking frame of mind. I was unpacking everything from last week when I was on the retreat with Fran and Fabiola, and I wanted to show you what I made while I was on the trip. I initially thought I was going to work on this painting behind me. I actually brought it with me. This is just a personal piece. I'm trying to learn how to use acrylic inks better, but then I got each of us, I got Fran, me, and Fabiola one of these little sketchbooks, these little fold-out sketchbooks. And I just decided to do something totally different and paint really small for the couple of days that we were there. And I brought acrylic inks, and I used acrylic inks. I did use a tiny bit of colored pencil, but it's almost all acrylic ink. So I'm going to unfold this here and show it to you. If you follow me on Instagram, you might have already seen this. But yeah, you can see it just kind of unfolds like that. And so all of these were things that I painted that were in the little cabin where we were staying. So this was on the deck outside. This is the view from the deck. This was looking up at the house. There were tons of cute lights everywhere, and it was just surrounded by trees, so you could see the light coming through the trees. This was breakfast. Fran made these pancakes. They were delicious and amazing and very fluffy. Fran, very fluffy. And then this was the view out the skylight. So I absolutely loved working in this format. I never would have expected that I'd like it so much. I just did like really, really simple sketches, hardly did any drawing, which is unusual for me. Wait, I'm doing it but the wrong way. There he goes. Yeah, usually with any piece, I just do a ton of drawing. I get super, super detailed beforehand. And with these, I just kind of put down a few basic shapes to get the perspective right, and then I just painted. And yeah, it was so much fun. I want to do it again. I even specifically liked this small format. And I found that unlike when I'm painting larger, you know, I'm getting much better doing backgrounds. I'm doing a lot of landscapes for work lately for clients. And I'm really growing in that area, and I'm grateful for that. But I still don't love it quite as much as I love painting other things. But when I was working at this scale, this really small scale, I didn't get bored doing the backgrounds the same way I do if I'm doing like a really big piece. So yeah, I'm going to experiment more with this. I think maybe the next thing I'm going to do is a series of self-portraits in one of these. I have something in mind. I have an idea in mind that I've wanted to do for a number of years, but have been kind of overwhelmed or a little bit intimidated to attempt it. But starting at that small scale in that like constrained context, like having it have to be in a little sketchbook, was just really interesting. So I think I'm going to use that as a gateway for projects, exploring projects that maybe feel intimidating to me. So yeah, it was amazing just to be in the woods for a couple of days, painting, having no other agenda besides just painting something that has no commercial purpose. I just was making it because I wanted to make it. You know, I still do personal self-initiated work. I try to keep up with that. I think it's really important. But I usually have some sort of strategic goal when I'm doing that. So either I'm trying to grow a new skill that I don't have, or I am, you know, trying to expand a certain area of my portfolio. So yes, it's self-initiated, but it is also still kind of commercially directed, which there's nothing wrong with that. I'm a commercial artist, that's great. But it was also just really fulfilling to do something that didn't yeah, didn't even ask any of those questions or think any of those thoughts. It was just for fun. And then of course it was amazing to, yeah, just spend time with 2 other wonderful humans and talk about art and our feelings and eat food, and yeah, it was great. So right now I'm finished with my colored pencil organization. Finally, I have unpacked pretty much everything from the trip, and I need to switch gears and get going on some client painting.